Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you. When a tire rests tread depth wears to 2/32 inch, it has time to replace that tire. With that in mind, how much would you guess a tire's wet braking performance suffers with just 3/32 inch of tread left? 50%. 60. Well, I tested a few Michelins at the tire company's top secret test track, located at 2240 SC39, Mountville, South Carolina, just south of the Mobil station on your right, and concluded they were only about 10% worse. More tellingly, even an unmarked competing brand tire only increased wet stopping distance by 16%. That makes the following fact Michelin provided even more astounding. Across the globe, we throw away 400 million tires too soon every year. It costs drivers more than $25 billion. And almost all of them end up in a landfill somewhere. Yikes. I asked the Michelin team why they would want to tell drivers this, considering the company makes more money when drivers throw tires out early. They said in the short term, that's true. But Michelin would rather have repeat customers who like the product and bought more than customers who get less than the stated mileage and decide to switch brands. Similarly, tire dealers make more money in the short term if they replace tires early, but don't expect to have repeat customers once they find out how much money they've lost. To prove the point, Michelin arranged 4 identically prepared 2018 Toyota Camrys on a wet braking course. 2 Camrys had new tires and 2 had tires worn to 3/32 inch. To be clear, Michelin buffed the tires down to 3/32 and admitted that performance wouldn't be exact but still a good representation of the real world. For both the new and worn tires, one was a Michelin, the other a competing brand. I was instructed to get up to 45 miles per hour and then stand on the brake once I hit the wet area. The new Michelin stopped in 78.4 feet on the wet concrete, the competing brand took 104.5 feet. When worn, the Michelin increased that distance to 87.5 feet, a 12% jump, and the competing brand needed 121.2 feet. 16% farther for F-150s were offered for the same test. And, with longer distances expected, the Michelin went from 90.5 feet new to 120.3 feet worn, 33%, while the competing brand jumped from 109 feet to 141, 29%. Those are both far from my most conservative guesses, which was an increased distance of 40%. We then tried these tires on a wet handling course and noticed a few things. The new tires gripped better, obviously, and also pushed more water out from under the tread. When worn, the Michelin hydroplaned, as did the competing worn tire. These observations were all feel, as these short course runs were not timed. Still, the recapturing of grip on the worn tire after a slide began was surprisingly easy once I let off the throttle. The priority for Michelin, and probably most tire manufacturers, is wet stopping. Drivers are 4 times more likely to get into accidents in the wet, and the most common accident is rear-ending another car, hence, wet stopping. What makes a tire stop in the wet? Several factors, but the main 3 are tread compound, tread pattern and contact patch shape. For a good adhering tread compound, you need the right materials that are formulated properly with the right mixture. Silica in the rubber is key. Tread pattern comes down to a well-engineered set of blocks, grooves and biting edges, which need to remain consistent over the life of the tire. Check a new versus worn tire, and they should look almost the same. Finally, there is contact patch shape. Remember, the contact patch on any tire is about as big as your hand. That means the only part of your car that touches the pavement is equal to 4 handprints. An oval-shaped contact patch is better than a square patch because that shape more quickly moves water away. The rounded shape also wears more evenly, leading to better traction further down the road, no pun intended. The rest your tire primer for the day. Don't just replace your tires as soon as they re halfway gone. If there are still a bunch of edges and grooves and you re not past 2/32 of an inch, you re probably okay. But legally, that's still on you. Wet stopping is your priority, with wet handling a close second, so check out reviews at Discount Tire, Bell Tire and Tire Rack before you buy. And if you get a chance to look at a nearly worn-out version of your own tire, do it before you replace them. If you get rid of them too early, you're wasting time, money and rubber, and burning CO2. That's what we call a quadruple negative there, or a lose-lose, lose-lose, and no one wants that. Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.